Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton. I'm Teddy McAllister and I'm joined by Owen Parks, and we're here to preview a crunch match at Goodison Park against Leeds United. Owen, is it too dramatic to say this is possibly a relegation six-pointer?
We'll be on that Twitter page as all the football cliches. Six-pointer. No, I don't. I don't think any game. The season doesn't rest on any individual game. I don't think it will. It's a scary one, but I don't know. I think even still, the problem difference with this game is if we lose it, we'll look back to looking at other teams' results. If we win a lot of it will be back in our own corporate. The season isn't solved if we win, and the season isn't over if we get beaten. That's just the boring reality to it. I do really worry about our lack of options going forward, but there's nothing new there. I think we have to get that Derby defeat out of our systems very quickly and see what we've got in this game.
Yeah, I agree. The key thing is I want to see from these players now a reaction. Like it used to be, and I'm not someone who romanticises David Moyes here at Everton, but whenever his team would lose a big game, which they often did, they always bottled it in the big games, they would come back and win the following game and get a reaction. And at the time, it pissed you off because it was like, why didn't you do that last week? Whereas I sort of miss it now because at the minute, when you get a bad performance from Everton in recent years, it's not followed by a reaction, it's followed by another one and another one, and it snowballs. And we've heard comments.
That is the ultimate. I didn't understand your game.
Yeah, yeah. I need to apologise. But you hear things from players like Connor Cody after the Liverpool game saying we need to listen to the manager and make it right against Leeds. Well, yeah, you've got to do it now. There's no point saying it. No more, no rally cries or anything like that. You need to go out against Leeds and beat them. Now, I don't think it is a must-win. It's certainly a must-not-lose, though, because if we lose, there's a decent gap between us and the most likely other team to go down, and then we are looking every week at who they're playing as well as who they are playing. And
that's the difference, isn't it?
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you suddenly can relax if you do beat them, but you drag yourself out of the relegation zone. We've got another home game to follow it with, and a little bit of momentum behind us as well. And they will they're possibly going to have a new manager bounce coming soon. So for me, it's certainly a do not lose, because if you draw, things stay as they are, and it's you can build and carry on from there, and you've got a better you've got something out of the game compared to the game previous with Liverpool. What would you like to see different in the team? Would you like to see some changes? Do you think what would you like, and what do you think as someone who's followed Sean Dyche for a few years? Do you think he'll stick to the same team, and because the principles were sound, it just ran up against the better team against Liverpool, or do you think he'll tinker around with it for certain individuals?
I think Mopai will probably come in for Sims. We'll probably stick to the same 4-5-1. I differ with the manager on that. I would go to a version of 4-4-2 for Saturday, because I don't think he'll take anything away from our defensive game. I just think he'll add to our offensive game. I think we'll get Gray off Maupay, and we'll have just Maupay occupying the two centre backs, and then maybe Gray getting in behind. I just think he'll allow us to go a bit more direct, get the ball in the box a bit more readily, because we'll have players in there. I just think you need to strip it back to basics after a game like that, and just have more players up front and keep the balance of the team. You've got natural compactness. I just think there's probably a time and a place for the two different systems. I don't know. I suspect it'll probably be look like we're doing the same. We're just plugging one striker out for the other. I would change the system slightly myself. What about you?
I think we will be changing personnel. I imagine, we'll see Mopai come in for Sims. I think we might see one of the wide players come out for Damari Gray, probably McNeil, even though McNeil's, quite useful with his set piece delivery, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Mopai come in and Damari Gray comes in on the left rather than up front with him, because I don't see him taking Decore out of the team. I think he's been one of the better, certainly against Arsenal and probably against Liverpool as well, one of the better performers. And he's one of the players who's got more goal threat than any of the other midfielders. So I don't see Decore coming out, nor do I see Idrissa Gueye or Amadou Onana coming out. I think the most likely thing will be one of the wide players. And, Damari Gray and Mopai both coming in. I don't think he'll do it, but I wouldn't be against seeing Coleman come out of the back four for someone like Godfrey, just because that is Nonto, as I say his name, their left winger.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, he's a good player. I think he'll have Coleman on toast if he plays up against him the same way Darwin Núñez was having the better of him in the Derby game. But Sean Dyche, from what we know, trusts his senior players, doesn't he? And maybe that he'd be at pains to mess with the back four. I know some people saying drop Conte for Yerry Mina, but I don't agree with that myself. Not because
I think he just look. We had a great performance against Arsenal. We had a bad performance against Liverpool. I think it's just change for change sake. I could go through anyone. Say play Begovic with Pickford. That literally was that laughable. It was unbelievable. So, yeah, I think you just looking for things once you start going through individuals like that. I think that the fundamentals to what we did against Arsenal will be there against Leeds. It's a flip of a coin every game for us because we don't have much up front and we're trying to be creative. And it's going to be like that a lot of the time because of Calvert-Lewin's injury situation. It's not ideal. I just think between us, we're trying to come up with solutions, and I don't know. One thing I would say is if we stick to how we played against Arsenal, and the midfielders, sort of both played as number 10s at times and linked up and got in the box, then we shouldn't be too bad because, again, if we score the first goal in this game, I think we'll be okay. And I think we'd have been okay if we just that would have went in last night. It's just a lot of the time, you never far away. And Tom Davis at the end, he misses. And they're two good chances in the Premier League. They're not statistically sort of obviously good chances, but to the naked eye, they look good chances. So I think that you're never as far away. You haven't solved it 1 week against Arsenal. And you're not just completely down now last night. I think there's probably somewhere in between that we can operate. We still should be okay to get enough points in this league.
Yeah, I mean, I think with the chances against Liverpool, the Tom Davis heads and the Tarkovsky heads, I think luck comes into that as well. I think if the shirts were reversed for those two chances, they both go in. If that's Curtis Jones, he bullets that header in. And if that's Matip, the header goes off the post and in. It's just one of them things, I'm afraid. When we need luck in the derby, it's nowhere to be found. But yeah, I agree with you on the change for change's sake. A lot of people are saying Connor Cody out for Yerry Mina. I just don't see the logic in that. I know Yerry Mina can be a good player and a good defender, and I've been a fan of him for a long time. But at this point, you're just basically splitting up your most consistent and best centre-back partnership to put in a player who, at best, you'll get 2 games out of before he sits down again with another injury, and you're going right back to Cody anyway. I wouldn't be looking to do that personally unless enforced, because Cody and Tarkovsky will be better than they were in the derby in more games. That's my belief. Coleman, maybe I could see changing. Michaelenko, people are saying put Godfrey in.
I wouldn't be against that, actually.
I wouldn't be against it.
He was shocking. As bad as you think Coleman was, I thought he was 10 times better than Michaelenko.
I wouldn't be against it, but I just don't see it happening because he's the natural left back, isn't he? And yeah, I don't know. But as I say, it's an important game against another team who they're not coming into this unaware of how we feel about it. They're going to expect a big atmosphere. They're going to expect us to be desperate to win, and they're going to be just as desperate to win themselves. But this is the thing: you've got to win these type of games if we're gonna stay up. We don't want to be going into the last few games of the season and have games against top teams and be hoping against hope that we can get something and hoping that Leeds drop points. If we're going to stay up, we need to do it as quickly as possible, because last year we got away with it. We big turnaround.
Right, we should have gone last season, shouldn't we?
Yeah, it was the worst team last season. I know we had Richarlison, but that defence was absolutely shocking. I've said it a million times. At least the defence this year is better than the one last year, even if it's not a top defence now. It's miles better than Coleman, Keane, Kenny, and Holgate, isn't it? Like it's well better, but we need to find the goals. That's the main thing. You've touched on yourself. Decore, Maupay, and Damari Gray are the only three with any sort of goal record in the Premier League, and even that's not earth-shattering. They've all got a handful of goals each season that they've played, and we need them to step up, all three of them. So I would be looking to get all three of them in the team.
I agree with that.
And then when Calvert-Lewin is fit and available, he's got to go in as well, because he's obviously got a goal-scoring record as well. But if the changes people are making are saying to take the likes of Decore out and put, I don't know, someone else in,
to be honest, I know it's not going to be everyone's goal. I could see one of the other two coming out before Decore, because Decore scores goals.
Yeah,
that's the central logic to it. But I don't know. I don't. You don't want to be changing too much, because maybe I've got the wrong idea with the formation as well. We were excellent the other weekend at home again.
Well, his options are limited. The manager's options are limited. So I think he's picked his team. I think he's looked at his squad and thought, well, there's no one else in the building goal scoring wise, and even though there should be, the board have let him down. So he's probably just looked at it and gone, well, this is the best team. The team against Arsenal, barring maybe Patterson when he's fit. This is the best team I can put out, so I'm going to put it out. And then he's got to just tinker with that as injuries dictate. So with no Calvert-Lewin, he's got to bring Maupay in or try Ellis Sims again or whatever. But anyway, I think that's all I've got to say about Leeds. The Leeds match coming up. No coach welcome, because they're not coming in on a coach anymore. So the fans want to help. They just need to do what we did against Arsenal again. Just make the atmosphere in the grounds, make it a bear pit, make it intimidating for the Leeds players. Got to get it, all the marginal gains are important now. We need to, every single home game, Goodison needs to be like it can be, because that's how we got out of it last time, and we're going to need it again. So I'm going to ask you for your score prediction, Owen.
2-0.
2-0. Very optimistic 2-0. I'm going to go for a 1-0. I'm going to go for another 1-0 like the Arsenal game. And I'm going to go for another set piece. Don't know the scorer. Anyone. Michaelenko, why not? But a free kick or a corner or something, but a 1-0, and we see it out defensively.
That's all.
Yeah, right. Well, that's all from us. So let us know in the comments if you agree, if you disagree, if you've got any thoughts on the game. And as ever, please like, comment and subscribe. And thank you for watching on the Toffee Blues.